Do you remember this sound? This was from the official announcement trailer for a game called Hytale, and it's been nearly 5 years since the Minecraft community has seen it for the first time. And what a day that was.
Dude, that combat looks so good!
With over 60 million views on their initial announcement trailer, Hytale was expected to be a legendary game. Yet still, the game's release date remains a complete mystery. So what really happened to Hytale, the biggest game no one's ever played? In order to answer this question, we need to first understand exactly what Hytale is and why it was so important in the first place. December 2018. The holidays and Christmas break were right around the corner, yet despite people having all the free time in the world, almost no one was playing Minecraft. Between a lack of updates and a certain first-person shooter game becoming very popular around that time, Minecraft was at its lowest point in years. Even Hypixel, Minecraft's most popular server, only averaged around 15,000 players back then. Something needed to change. On December 13th, around midday, tens of thousands of people from the Minecraft community around the world would find themselves huddled around their computer screen on the Hypixel website, watching a countdown. Little did they know that when it reached 0, it would change the Minecraft scene forever. Because this countdown wasn't for a new Hypixel minigame or even a big server update. It was for a first look trailer of an entirely new game. Hytale, an open-world 3D sandbox game. In the trailer, they advertise a lot of features that seem very similar to Minecraft, such as mining ores for materials, building to your heart's content, and even multiplayer servers with a variety of minigames. However, the key difference between these two games lies within the developers. Mojang, at least at the time, was known to be a little out of touch with their community compared to the people who made Hytale, aka Hypixel Studios, who also happen to own the largest Minecraft server of all time, meaning they knew what they were doing. Every bug and every unwanted feature would all be fixed in Hytale alongside a ton of brand new features. By the end of the day, Hytale's trailer would gain over 130,000 views, and by the end of the month, it would gain over 30 million. This was it. Hytale had single-handedly managed to breathe life into what was previously a dying Minecraft community. All they had to do now was release the game within a somewhat short amount of time after the initial trailer, and Hytale would no doubt be a massive success.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
In fact, the community wouldn't even receive a set release date for the game until almost a full year later in November 2019, when, in a forum post on their website, the Hytale development team would state that,
"We've previously said that Hytale will be ready when it's ready because we're serious about providing the community with a game that meets their expectation. We can now be a little more specific. Factoring in the scale of the project and the high bar we want to hit, we're planning for Hytale to be playable by everyone in 2021.
While nothing was ever technically confirmed, this message came as a huge surprise to a lot of people in the community, as up until now, they had speculated that Hytale would come out within 6 months of the initial trailer, and it's a real shame this wasn't the case, because pretty much right after that, something happened that no one could have predicted.
It's 2019 and the biggest game on YouTube is Minecraft?
Despite the game coming up on its 10-year anniversary, Minecraft was back and better than ever. Thanks to popular events like SMP Live or the now infamous Minecraft Mondays, which brought tons of former Minecraft YouTubers back to the game. Gone were the days of Minecraft being known as a dying game. The Hypixel server, which, like I mentioned earlier, used to struggle to get just 15,000 players, now easily had over 100,000 players at any given moment. And it would only go up from here. Thanks to the help of a certain national emergency forcing everyone to stay inside all day, it was reported that over 126 million people were playing Minecraft each month. With Minecraft having such a massive resurgence in popularity, it almost seemed like there was no longer any need for a game like Hytale to even be released. And as the months went on, we began to creep further and further into 2021, all with absolutely zero sign of Hytale. That is, until July, when in another blog post titled Summer 2021 Development Update, the Hytale team would sadly say,
"What has become increasingly apparent is that we have several more years of work ahead of us before Hytale is ready to launch. We don't want to provide another estimated launch window that turns out to be incorrect. However, we no longer expect to be ready to launch Hytale before 2023 at the earliest, and it could very well take longer."
Hytale was delayed again, this time with no set re-release date. And that's where we stand today, which begs the question, what happened to Hytale? And it's only after I took a deeper look into Hytale's official website where the answer honestly became quite simple. Hytale needs to be absolutely perfect. On the surface, delays like these may seem like an unexpected and disappointing thing for Hypixel to do, but really this sort of quality over recency approach actually happens all the time, whether it be in the gaming industry, YouTube, or even music. Typically the creator will announce a project and then spend an insane amount of time perfecting every little detail, in hopes that once the product is finally finished, the sheer quality and impressiveness of the work will simply speak for itself. Back in April of 2020, for this exact reason, Hypixel Studios would be bought out by Riot Games, a massive video game developer company responsible for some extremely popular titles such as League of Legends and Valorant. Since then, Hypixels began to use the way bigger budget and tons of extra resources they acquired from Riot to make some massive changes to the game over the years, such as in July 2021 when the Hytale team announced that they had spent the last year completely revamping and changing the game's combat system in order to create a better PvP experience. In that same post, they also said that the team had spent an additional 6 months reworking and making revisions to all of the mobs and NPCs' AI systems throughout the game to hopefully add more depth, interest, and variety to Hytale's PvE combat. This change will, quote, allow NPCs and mobs to make smarter decisions about targets, weapons, and approaches to battle.
Our goal wasn't necessarily to create an AI that could perfectly mimic a player, but we've gotten closer than we expected.
After this, the Hytale team would go on to spend another full year literally rewriting the entire game to switch it from Java to another programming language, C++, in order to make the game perform slightly better across the multiple platforms they would be releasing it on. All of these changes start to paint a pretty clear picture as to exactly why the game is taking so long and the Hytale team's reasoning behind it. Throughout every step of the way, they've mentioned that they're simply trying their best to live up to the massive amount of hype that they generated. And while this seems pretty reasonable, you have to remember that this hype was almost 5 years ago at this point. Sure, perfecting the game is one thing, but the sheer amount of time it will take to get from the trailer to the actual release is another. I'm sure many out of the 2.5 million people who initially signed up for the Hytale beta have now grown up and completely forgotten about the game. Even for me, a lot of the friends that I was excited to play Hytale with back in the day have now entered their 20s with either college or a full-time job to worry about, and have pretty much moved on from gaming as a whole. And it's not like Hytale's really made any effort to advertise to new players either. Outside of a few random fan art tweets on their Twitter, and some soundtrack OSTs on their YouTube, Hytale hasn't really done anything to advertise the development of their game over the last 5 years. The only place the community's been able to get any real information from is the blog on the official Hytale website, and even there, updates are now few and far between. What used to be an active site with new media and updates surrounding the game getting posted every few weeks is now pretty barren, with the website only getting 1, maybe 2 development updates every year. That's it. Which leads us to arguably the biggest question of this entire video. Will Hytale actually be successful? I mean, there's no doubt that once Hytale finally gets released, whenever that is, there will definitely be a massive initial resurgence in popularity, simply due to curious people wanting to see what all the fuss is about. But will Hytale actually be a genuinely good quality game that will last decades to come? And that's a question that can only be answered with time.